Hello everyone. Yeah, we are live now. So welcome to the grand finale of SEO Surgery in India. I'm Nitin Manchanda, your host for the day. I'm working as product owner for SEO at Chopra, and I love technical SEO. Well, I got this opportunity to host this episode for you all, for which I would like to thank Semrush to start with. And we have three SEO experts with us today who will be sharing their findings on the websites they have audited for you all. I'll introduce them in a while. But before that, I would like to thank you all for overwhelming response, not just for this episode, but for the entire series. Thank you, thank you so much about that. Now, I would like to introduce our guest, our special guest for the grand finale. So I'll start with Sam Maley, who is based out of Chester, United Kingdom, and he's digital marketing manager at ITC Travel Group. And he'll be talking about Tribo.com, which is a hotel chain in India. So Sam, now could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you, Nitin. So yeah, my name's Sam. I'm the digital marketing manager at a company called the ITC Travel Group, based in Chester in the UK. We sell luxury top-end holidays. I've been doing SEO, digital marketing for about 5 years now. I've always worked in-house, always worked with companies with multiple brands, so I've got a nice bit of exposure to different kinds of sites, from e-commerce to lead generation, the full works really. At the moment, we're currently working on some rebrands, a couple of site migrations, which, as most SEOs know, are quite tricky, so lots of fun to be had there. In terms of my favourite aspects of SEO, I'm quite an all-rounder, but my favourite aspect is probably verging on technical SEO too. That's me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Sam. And now moving to the next guest, who is from Adelaide, Australia, Johnny McCreath. He's owner of website Advantage. And the interesting thing about him is he started his career as software engineer in 1985, and I was born in 1988. So, well, that's super interesting. I'm super excited to have you here, Johnny, and a bit nervous as well because working with a legend like you is a big thing. And he loves e-commerce SEO, and he'll be talking about beatsandfashion.com, which is a fashion e-commerce. So, Johnny, can you please introduce yourself now?
Hi, Nitin. I've been in it for a while. When I researched this, I found out that I'm pre-web, I'm pre-mobile phones, I'm pre-everything. That's probably why I'm called the glorious and fabulous SEO giant. Nowadays, technical SEO, I'd say I'm moving more into SEO engineering, which is the idea of taking these technical skills and turning products out into them. So I'm focusing on e-commerce sites and structured data, that sort of stuff, and creating packages and selling them to clients.
Cool. Thank you so much, Johnny. And now our last but not the least guest of the morning or evening, depends on which time when you are in. That's Pradeep Chopra, who is CEO and co-founder of Digital Vidya, and he's from New Delhi, India. And he'll be talking about trendyrunny.com, which is an online running site. So Pradeep, it's all yours now.
Yeah, thanks Nitin, and thanks Semrush for inviting me. Welcome everyone. Really excited and happy to be part of this grand finale of SEO Surgery India. Brief about myself, I graduated from IIT Delhi, worked in a software engineering job for a year, and then started our first venture way back in the year 2000. And accidentally touched the power of digital, especially SEO, in our first venture when nothing else was working. And since then, I've been an entrepreneur and fallen in love with digital, because that's the only way we could start, and that's the only way we could fly. And at Digital Vidya, that's the only thing we do. Like, we help individuals and organizations learn digital marketing through various kinds of programs. So really looking forward to be part of this session and learning from my fellow hosts and speakers here, and from audience, all of you as well. So let's have a great session. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. I love the fact that you mentioned that accidentally fell in SUC. Yeah, but the same thing happened with me when I joined Flipkart, which was my first company. And I was assigned this team called SEO technology team. I didn't know anything about it. I was a software engineer. And then I started learning about SEO. And I don't even remember when I fell in love with SEO, and now I think I can't live without it, without SEO. So yeah, SEO is super interesting, and it's becoming more and more interesting every day. So good to know that. All right. So before we start, I would like to thank you all for submitting a lot of sites, and unfortunately, it's the rule of this series or this episode, you can say, that we pick 3 websites so that we can cover a lot of things and not just touch and go. And we are not able to pick more than 3. So I'm sorry about others who submitted their websites, but the response is really good, and I think Semrush is probably will be thinking about another series for you guys because of this amazing response. So stay tuned and keep your eyes open for another series. You can expect that soon. Maybe SEMrush will talk about that later. All right. So now, without wasting any time, I will move to the real stuff, which is website audits by our experts. So to start with, I would like to invite Sam, who will be talking about Tribo.com, which is a hotel, online hotel website. It's like a hotel chain in India. So Sam, stage is all yours now.
Thank you, Nitin. Okay, let me share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, yeah. So Tribo, they're a budget hotel chain based in India. Sell hotels to places all over India, Mumbai, Delhi, Goa, and you can book the hotels directly from the website. You don't just have to phone up or anything like that. So when auditing a site, I always like to get a bit of a background of the site. So a good place for me to start with that would be on Semrush. So you can see here that the site sort of started to take shape from January 2017. But after a bit of research, I did realize that the site used to be on a domain called tribohotels.com. So they started around July 2016 and then migrated over to their tribo.com domain. I think the reason they've migrated is that they're trying to expand their offering. So instead of just doing hotels, they're offering things like service departments in addition. So a bit like what Moz did when they went from SEO Moz to Moz, just to make sure they're not limiting themselves there. But yeah, in terms of the work done on the site so far, it's been pretty good. Over the last year, they've gone from 7,000 total keyword rankings right through to 15,500 currently. They don't have a great deal of page 1 rankings, but they've got loads on page 2. So you've got 2,143 rankings on page 2, which to me is a great opportunity. Is with just a bit of work, a lot of tips that I'll give in this audit should help push these page 2 rankings onto page 1, which is where you're going to see the biggest difference in your traffic. Okay, so back to the website. I always like to start off with a bit of a raw audit, you know, not using any tools, just to see what I can find. And one thing I noticed on this site, from being on it for about 10 seconds, you get a nice little pop-up here offering a 20% off code. It's great that this is trying to be pushed, but I'd recommend that you don't use a pop-up for this, especially on a mobile device, as Google could penalize you for this. And I think that this lovely little bar at the top gets that across anyway, so people aren't going to be missing out on your 20% offer. Okay, so if we navigate through the site a bit more, I'll go through to Mumbai. Nice website, some great content with hotels here. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that the content is hidden here. And this is something I'd advise you don't hide, just because Google will not. Google don't like hidden content. It's just a good idea to make sure that all your content's fully visible. And because it's at the bottom of the page anyway, it's not like you're forcing people to go from this content and then see your hotels. Your hotels are at the top of the page, so you know there's no interference in terms of navigating. The content sits right at the bottom of the page, so just advise that you don't hide that. Then the final part I noticed just from a quick look at the website itself is that there's no actual navigation on this website. There's just a search page here. There's a few links down here, but as I'll show you in a crawl in a moment, there's lots more links than are present on the homepage. And on a mobile device, you don't even get this full bar. So when Google's mobile first index comes in next year, I believe it's supposed to happen, Google aren't going to enjoy crawling your site on a mobile, which which is not going to be too good for you. There is a sitemap with all these URLs in, but you need to make sure you're not orphaning pages and that Google can reach all the pages from starting the crawl off on the home page. So then one more point about this, just looking at the site, is that the blog is on a subdomain and not on /blog. So it's blog.treebo.com, not treebo.com/blog. And this is a great blog. It looks great. There's some good content on there, and you want to make sure that that's on your main domain, so that when you're getting lovely links back to the content that you've done, that is the power from that is going to go to your main domain, which is what you want to rank as opposed to your blog site. Okay, so that's sort of a raw audit without any tools. Let me show you Screaming Frog, where I run a crawl. So in terms of the site's URL structure, there's some good things going on here. It's quite nice and clean. There's various keywords that have been targeted. So you've got the likes of 2-star hotels, 3-star hotels, budget hotels. So it's good that you're not just going in for the generic hotels keywords. You're diversifying this a bit. The only thing that I would say along with that is that the title tags here and meta descriptions are all duplicate, bar sort of dynamically bringing in the destination name. Personally, I'd look at making these unique, not just to tick a box for Google, but also to improve your click-through rate. As if more people are clicking through to your website from Google than your competitors, then it's a signal to Google that your website's better and it should rank higher, and it will do so. Then the fundamental issue I found from the crawl is that these query strings here, as you can see, or not sure if you can see there, but it's got a question mark, check in and check out, and a lot of gobbledygook at the end of that. And this is not blocked. So that's basically creating another version of this page here. And I can see that some efforts have been made to block this in the robots.txt file down here. So you've got /? check-in disallowed. But this is not formatted correctly. This is only going to block that exact URL. So what you'd need to do here is to, a little example here, that if you wanted to block the types of URLs that I just showed you there, you need to put an asterisk at the back end or both ends, just to make sure that that blocks everything before and after the URL and not just that exact URL. That will remove a lot of duplicate content issues that are created from having the query strings not blocked. Which is quite a big issue. The next tool I've used is Semrush, the site auditor. This is one of my favorite tools. It's very aggressive. It nails down all your site's issues. I mean, look at how many issues here. This is probably quite intimidating at first, but it's not really that bad. If we drill down into your errors, almost all of the errors are mixed content issues. And what that means is that because the site's got an SSL certificate, it's HTTPS secure, that not all of it is covered with that certificate. So you can see here that a lot of the images on the site are hosted on the old domain, so images.treebohotels.com, which doesn't have an SSL certificate. So there's two solutions here. Either you can buy an SSL certificate for this old domain, or you can move the images onto the current domain, which is already covered with an SSL, which is going to sort that out for you. Moving back onto the rest of the issues, these are all quite minor, to be honest. You've got some broken external images. Just go through yourself or your content guys, your dev guys, get those fixed. Duplicate title tags. If you went through and did your title tags and meta descriptions, as I recommended before, you'd cover that issue anyway. Meta descriptions, duplicate content issues. There's only 6 here. I imagine this is probably just a few pages. They've got the same content. You either need to, fix it with a canonical tag or redirect them. Depends on the issue. 2 pages couldn't be crawled. You just want to see if these pages, do you actually want them crawled or not. It might be the case that you don't want them crawled. Similar case with the warnings on the site. There are quite a few here, but these are all minor, easy things to fix. H1 headings, alt tags, tagging up your images, pages with low word counts. I think most of this aspect of the work could be finished, in a couple of days, really. One aspect I thought was a bit more important from the warnings side of things is that there's quite a few no-follow attributes on some of your links, and I think the reason for this is to preserve your crawl budget for pages like terms and conditions, FAQ, policy, this kind of stuff, which you're not really interested in Google ranking because it'll take up crawl budget that you could otherwise use for your product pages. So it's good that this has been attempted. However, it's not it's not doing what it needs to be doing, because these links are also contained in the sitemap as well. So it's just contradicting what you're telling Google there, by saying no, follow it here, but including the sitemap. So I'd advise that you remove that from the sitemap, and also add some no index tags to the pages. And if you want to be really thorough, add it to your robots.txt file as well. But yeah, I mean, that's most of sort of the technical issues I highlighted from Semrush. If you go through and have a good go at these issues, it'll make a big improvement to your site. You know, get it above 80%. You see a lot of these page 2 rankings start to shift onto page 1 as you improve things. I mean, with the time I've got, it's hard to elaborate too much further on this, but I mean, I've not touched on some of the things, you know, site speed, and links, not even touched on links, but looking at the backlink profile of the site, there's a good amount of links. So you've got 500 referring domains, but there's a low trust flow. I'm using a Majestic metric here. So that suggests to me that you've done a good job of link building. You just need to work on some high quality, relevant links. And from there, alongside the technical fixes, you'll be in a really good position to improve your rankings. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Sam. Well in time. Really good management of time, man. Hats off. All right, so now I would like to invite Tony, if he can share his findings about Tribo.com. So maybe some points that Sam couldn't cover in his 8 minutes time slot. So I think we can add it here now.
Yeah, great stuff. I also spotted the security issue and just saw on that presentation, the homepage of the blog is not secure. There's a problem there, so probably the whole blog is having issues. And anytime now, it's going to be a big red banner saying you're not secure. On the hidden content and lower content, I'd say things that could be changing soon. The mobile first index is kind of they're hinting that they're not going to worry about the hidden content so much. And I'd say it's more, you'd worry more about content being below the fold. That's the sort of thing. If someone has to scroll down to find it, it's less valuable. Another idea on the parameters tool is Google's got the URL parameter tool to let you block those parameters that you want, or try and block them from source, just stop them being crawled in the first place. And another contentious one, I think, is blocking pages like privacy policy and terms and conditions, is stopping Google look at pages that can give strong information about you being a trustworthy website, especially on e-commerce and things like this. So I'd actually argue to leave them in there. I wouldn't block privacy policies and things. You want Google to read that and know you have them. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Tony. And correctly mentioned that the site and mobile first indexing too. So as Pradeep mentioned, that they are very soon moving to mobile first indexing. And so I would highly recommend all the websites to think about that and prioritize that in their SEO strategy, because right now, so when we were shortlisting these 3 websites, from the list of websites submitted, we saw a lot of sites lacking there. So highly recommended to put it on the top of your SEO strategy list. All right, to move ahead, I would like to request Pradeep to share his comments about Tribo.com.
Yeah, I think, yeah, hi everyone. Sam and Tony have done a great job. Tribo is also, I think, overall, in my view as well, done well. I think one of the areas which I believe is important, which Sam said that he did not cover, is the site performance in terms of speed. I was looking into GT metrics and I could see the page speed score as well as Y slow score quite low. Let me just see if I can share my screen. And that further, I think, plays an importance for mobile, as we've been talking about. So for example, if all of others can see, like, you know, on GT metrics, I checked for one of their internal sites, internal pages, hotels in Mumbai. So I think overall loaded time and these grades scores are low. Second, as you know, Sam mentioned using multiple subdomain, including for both the blogs. They have a technical blog as well as for corporate site, which is business.tribo.com. So I think in practical ways, subdomain is considered as a separate site. like closely related to that versus having a same domain. So you would be in a better position to leverage the strength of different sections of the site. I think that's another area I would want to point out. But definitely, I think performance in terms of loading, especially considering mobile, is one area I feel where there is a scope of improvement.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pradeep. And now we'll answer a question from our visitors. So Chanukya is asking, I'm getting spam links to the website when we search in Google for one of my pages of the website. So who would like to answer that? Anyone wants to answer that? No, it seems. All right. So, guys, I mean, I would suggest here in this case, Google says that you do not need to take care of spam links. So we'll take care of that. We are smart enough to understand what are spam links, and we can report them. But if you want to take a precautionary step, maybe you can just collect the list of URLs you are finding from where you're getting spam links, and you can disavow them. And that's it. All right, so moving ahead to the next website, that is beadsandfashion.com, which is an e-commerce website, and Tony will be talking about that. So Tony, stage is all yours now.
Right, I'll just do a screen share. Can you see that?
Yes, you can see that.
Right, so my website is beadsandfashion.com. It's an e-commerce website. They sell beads and fashiony things, and mainly to India. So I've got a lot of things to go through, so I'll be quick. How to go next? There. Right, first problem is the website's down, so fix that. I'm done. No, there's more. Right, the current status is they're ranking in the USA and India at the moment. It seemed at the beginning of the year their ranking switched to the US. So my question would be, is the US a target? If not, are their tactics helping them get valuable customers? So they should look into that. The website is super slow. Takes 13 plus seconds for me to load it. There's 7 megabits of data on the homepage. So they need to do a lot of work to speed up, remove the resources, and simplify it down. It's not that complex a page. It's not secure. No pages are secure. The checkout's not secure. The login pages are not secure. I don't even know if the payment system is secure or PCI compliant. So they really need to work on that, because any day now it's going to be highly flagged, and people are not going to want to use it. Mobile, it's great. This is good. The only problem is the speed. Otherwise, it's responsive and it passes the friendly test. So part of the slowness is this website must have been around for ages. It's just full of junk. There was bits of Google Tag Manager, but not the main bit. There was a bit of code to do snow effects in the footer that wasn't working. There's a whole section on testimonials on the homepage, which is just hidden. This all needs to be tidied up and cleared away to speed up the website and also avoid penalties. It's you don't want hidden content like that. JavaScript errors left, right, and center. They just need to be looked at and fixed. And why are some of these things there? There's code stolen from Shopify, as far as I can tell, for stats counter. There's a max ID thing that I'm not sure what it does, but it doesn't help on the speed. Right, 2 minutes in. The non-canonical domain, the non-www, 302 is the homepage. It should be a 301 page-by-page redirects. There are broken links, not a ridiculous amount, but I think 400 odd is something that's worth looking at. You can use the Search Console, do redirects, work out what's wrong with them. Robots text looks fine. It does look like you've had problems with spiders, and that might be why the website went down. I could imagine that this server is having to crunch a lot of stuff just to do one page, and so spiders are killing your server. Sitemap is a pile of rubbish. It is completely wrong. You need to rework it. I presume it was a plugin from way back and you've changed everything since then. So onto the crawl budget. I managed to crawl about 6,000 URLs. And in those 6,000, it discovered 70,000 other URLs to crawl. And I stopped when the website went down. So there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of places that the crawler can go, and it's not being blocked from wish lists, comparison page links, the category search things, faceted navigation, etc. There's lots of internal redirects. Again, that's doubling up the cost of the crawl budget. And a lot of these are add to product pages. So every time someone clicks on an add to product, your server is adding a product to this cart that a bot is using, killing his service. So you just got to get bots away from those pages. The search pages, they're all indexed. They add no value, wasting crawlers' time again. Faceted navigation. There seems to be an attempt to protect from it with canonical tags, but what it doesn't stop is Google having to crawl there to find that it shouldn't go there. And these faceted navigations create infinite number of links. Halfway, hopefully. Right, to normal stuff. Page titles, the home page, there's some effort in. Very bad on the other pages. I even found one with a blank title. And Semrush reports 215 that it found on a small crawl. Same with meta descriptions. Effort needs to be put in to fill those in. And this is the home page keyword meta tag. This is slowing down the website in itself. It's just ridiculous. It's a complete waste of time. You come to where you should have content, your product pages, and they're partial lines of information. Google's going to be going through all these pages on your website and eventually getting to a product page and just saying there's no information. It's cruft. It's gonna, your product pages are just not going to get in there. Near duplicate problems add to it. Multiple products that are just different colors. Google's just going to start going boring, 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 and stop coming back. The footer has, in my opinion, is keyword stuffing links. You don't need to because they're all in the menu, and it's just a red flag for search engines to think you're trying to do something dodgy. Right, the homepage. Above the fold is one image. That's all you're giving people, one image and one message. You should try A/B testing. I hate these massive banners. Try testing something else. Try putting more of a message at the top. Hopefully 2 minutes to go. And to make it worse, the only other message on the homepage is an advert sending people to your competitor. So you're there trying to make 1 cent from an advert and losing your customers. On other pages, I saw deceptive adverts. They make your website look horrible. They're stealing your customers, and they're being deceptive in what they're doing so that people will not like who you are. Google Analytics. There's 2 sets of tracking code and a third one commented out. Your bounce rates will be low, though, because you're just not getting correct data. You need to clean up your tracking code and make sure you're tracking all the features that you can track up to e-commerce tracking and things like dimensions. Structured data. One little bit of broken structured data. Your competitors are all going to have review stars, product pricing, stock statuses, and you've got nothing. You're just not going to stand out. Backlinks. It looks like 3 backlink campaigns were done. Maybe one caused a penalty, but that was at the same time traffic moved to the US. So I'd imagine there was a bit of more of a campaign than just backlinks. A sign that these backlinks are bad is I discovered 274 domains, only 58 are left. So these links did not last. And out of those, only a few of them are follow. Some of the hot links, they're not very good quality links. So I'd reconsider how you're trying to acquire your backlinks, maybe by getting a valuable site. Right, the blog. I only had a quick look. That's a whole audit in itself. It's got duplicate content and missing H1s. So that could be audited on its own. Takeaways. I'd say this is an old website that's just gone through so many changes that it could be time to start again, gather your data, go on a new system that's clean and lean, usable and trustable, easier and faster, has more advanced features for sales and marketing, and it actually has support and continued development. That's it, I think. Yeah. Phew.
Well, thank you so much, Tony. You covered a lot in 8 minutes. So thank you so much for managing the time really well and sharing a lot of things about the website. Okay, so now I would like to request Pradeep to share his comments on the website that probably Tony missed. So yeah, Pradeep.
Yeah, hi Nitin. I'm sorry because the site is not live. I couldn't check it. That's an interesting situation, but I think great job done, Tony. And I think I would want to reinforce on the point of the technical aspects and the performance, I think, and the schema part. That's what I found for my site as well. So I think those were the three. If I were to reiterate or reinforce what Tony shared, would be my observations. But otherwise, since the site was not live, I did not spend time looking into it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we can understand that, Pradeep. And beats and session, it's your loss. I mean, your site was down since last afternoon, and Pradeep, and I'm not sure if Sam could spend any time on that. So Sam, did you manage to spend any time on beats and fashion?
I got a quick look just before it got broken. I mean, much of what Tony's already said, to be honest, it is a bit of a mess. It's not even got an SSL. I mean, technically, there's a lot of work to be done. I'd probably go with what Tony said. It's probably best that they get the data and move on to a more modern system and go from there.
All right, thanks so much, Sam. All right, guys, so before we move to the third website, which is the final website of this grand finale, I would like to take a couple of questions asked by our very sweet audience. So first question is by Lucky Sharma, who's asking GT metrics is correct as compared to Google page speed. Which one is the best? Which one rules the world? So anyone here wants to answer this question? Sam, would you like to?
Yeah, I mean, I've used a few different site speed testers. I think the best one in my experience is one called Pingdom. It gives you a good analysis and overview. But it's not. I don't think there's necessarily just one tool that's the best for site speed. I think it's best to get a few different ideas, get it from different sources. Because one day they can tell you one thing, the other day it's completely different. I'd advise use Google Page Speed Insights, Pingdom, another tool, and then sort of put all these ideas together and then make improvements from there.
Well, I would agree with Sam here. So there is no one best tool for it. There are many tools and they're providing different metrics. So it depends on you, which metrics you're interested in. If you're an engineer and you want to go deep, understand your DNS fetch time and server response time, and you want to optimize on that. So I think you can go for Pingdom or maybe GD metrics. But if you want to have an overview of how it looks and probably waterfall diagram, then Google Page Speed or maybe YSlow. So yeah, it depends on what metrics you're looking for, and then you can pick one of these tools or maybe multiple at once. Yeah. Okay. So moving to the next question by Kuldeep Upadhyay, who's asking, can you provide some good link building tips as well? Not the normal get quality content and good stuff trick. Well, I think Kulip is asking about some link building tips here. And Kulip, that's a big topic in itself, and I think we want to cover it here because of time constraint. So maybe Semrush is listening and they'll plan another episode for link building only. All right, sorry about that, Kulip. And moving to the next question, which is by Yash Pratap, who's asking, what is the best way to increase organic audience via blog? Well, that's a super abstract question. I mean, yeah, I think we spoke about a lot of blogs in this 6-episode series, and I would highly recommend you to go and check them again. And there you'll definitely find a lot of tips about how can you increase your blog organic visibility. So good luck with that, Yash. Okay, so now moving to the next round, the final website of this grand finale, and I hope you all are ready for that. That's junglyrummy.com, an online rummy site. A lot of you probably play as well. So we have our expert Pradeep will be talking about junglyrummy.com. So Pradeep, stage is all yours now.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. Sorry. Yeah, I hope all of you can see my screen. I've created, we had 8 minutes, so I'd created 8 slides. First, in my view, as I looked into SEMrush, I think, and I compare competition. So overall, I think they have done great job. Though I could find some opportunities, but broadly looking into their rankings, for example, a keyword like rummy, which is the most competitive keyword, having, if I look at Google AdWords keywords planner itself, that has close to 500,000 monthly searches. There also they have a ranking of second for them, and so second, third is what is varying. And similarly, like other keywords, if I look at online rummy, if I look at total number of keywords in top 3, I think overall great job given the competition. But coming to specific opportunities, I think first I would say still there are keywords where they can do better. For example, I looked into a keyword called classic rummy. There, their position is around 16th or 12th. It is on second page. Now, interestingly, for classic rummy, as I search for, if we look at this, there is a significant drop. Now, I explored further and saw that one is Classic Rummy is another company, which is where their name is Classic Rummy. And Classic Rummy is also used as a keyword or a key phrase for people to find rummy. Maybe the Classic Rummy as a brand is, losing importance over a period of time. That's why this shift Google AdWords keyword planner is showing. Even then, if I look at the number of searches, it's 18,000, over 18,000 per month. And when I looked into, their site, including their homepage, I think it can be, further optimized for this particular keyword, which can give them, similar traffic as they have gone for a lot of other competitive keywords. So that was one, and I'm sure like that there are more keywords which they can search on. Then similarly, I looked for keywords like 13 cards rummy, and when I looked into their page, this is their page. And if we look at the browser title, if we look at the URL, if we look at the H1 tag, and even further tags, like it is over optimized. 13 cards rummy, if I search on this page alone, like it's 24 times, exactly 13 cards rummy is 10 times alone. So like that, there are other subsection yet important pages which are over optimized in terms of keywords, while they have credibility of their domain. So that's why they are not getting the penalizing impact. But I think at places they need to remove or reduce this over optimization, which can help them improve their rankings. Then I move forward. I looked into their link profile, and 2 areas I found when I compared with competition as well. For example, if you look at this, they have close to 2 lakh links, and this one site itself, desiserials.me, which further redirects to other site and has over 1,90,000. Though I saw there were no follow, but given the low credibility of this site, and then having that many links from that, maybe something would have happened. So that's, I think, one site which having so many backlinks from. Like that, if I compare the competition, let me just show you. I think compared to them, their competition has a better distribution of links from other sites. So just a second. Yeah. So if I look at that, unique domains, for example, Jungly Rummy has 200, but Ace23, which is, I think, one of the most popular ones, has 300. Similarly, Rummy Circle has 313, while they have close to 2 lakh backlinks, but 1,95,000 are from one site alone. So I think that's another area which they need to work on, and there is an opportunity. Then I move forward. Blog, someone asked the opportunity of blog for increasing or expanding reach. I think it's a huge opportunity if you do well, because creating great content on blog helps in multiple ways. It drives traffic from the blog, and when you have a great content that provide internal linking and external links when it gets shared on other places, helps increase the overall credibility of the site. But while Jungly Rummy has a blog, their content is very shallow. So like this is one of the posts which is, again, kind of over optimized for relevant keywords, but very shallow in terms of content. And overall, I think design of the blog is also suboptimal. So that's another area I would say which they need to work on. Then I think schema rich snippet, if we look at that, especially aggregate rating, I saw most of the sites don't have rating schema in. But when I searched for Play Rummy, I could still find, like on the second page, the site, particularly Game Twist, has been using it. Initially, I thought that their category, given it's around Rummy, Google might not be allowing the schema, but if they have it, I think so can be others. And while it will not have a direct impact on SEO rankings, but for sure, if it can help them increase the click-through rate, it can ultimately help them drive more traffic, and hopefully that is a signal for Google to give them higher credibility as well. Finally, I think they are not using responsive, and when I search for Play Rummy on Play Store, they are not there. Like they are there, but compared to their desktop presence, their mobile presence is low. So I think using responsive for normal organic traffic and App Store optimization techniques, especially looking into ratings and other aspects, the title and the screenshots and others, I think there is a significant opportunity for them to improve their mobile presence. So I think that's all I would want to share. I hope that's useful. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Pradeep. Thank you so much for adding a lot of things for Jungly Rummy online. And yeah, this is the first time we picked a website which is under gaming industry. So it was interesting experience, and I hope a bit tough experience for you, but I'm sure you enjoyed this. All right, so moving ahead, I would like to request Sam to share his findings on Jungly Rummy.
Sure, yeah, it's a great audit. Thanks, Pradeep. I think the site's actually doing really well. It's probably the best performing site out of the ones that we've all audited. Like you say, it's got some good rankings for quite generic keywords, but maybe you could focus a bit more on sort of the niche or longer tail keywords to get some higher quality traffic in there. I think most of it really is just fine tweaks, like you've covered, Pradeep. Sort of they're over optimizing a bit. Their blog could be improved both aesthetically and sort of the content in there. I think if they put a lot of effort into improving their content overall, it'd have lots of SEO benefits to it. Overall, yeah, good site, just needs a bit of fine refinement.
All right, thank you so much, Sam, for writing that. And now our last but not the least guest, Tony, will share his findings on junglyrummy.com.
Yeah, great stuff there. I think for this website, it's all about content. It's and they've got a lot of it, and so refining that content is where they can gain their rankings. I did spot a couple of little technical possible problems. They're using the Google Tag Manager, and that's firing Google Analytics, but they've also got Google Analytics outside it. It might be deliberate, but it'd be worth checking. And there seems to be a problem with the Facebook pixel. I think there was a bit of a code error there. But otherwise, love the website.
Cool. Thank you so much, Tony. Did you play as well?
As a kid, I did, with my grandma.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much. Now we are kids in front of you, so we should try. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. That was really nice. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and it was amazing that these three covered a lot of things in the time allotted to them. So time management was amazing here. And we're getting a lot of questions from our audience. Thank you so much for asking so many questions. And we are trying to answer all your questions in our chat box or here. And yeah, so thank you so much for asking all these questions. And apart from this, yeah, so I think we can now move to the next and the final round of this final episode of SEO Surgery in India, which is the round where our experts will be talking about their key takeaways, and they'll also talk about their preferred communication channel, where you guys can reach them in case your questions are not answered here. So I'll start with Tony. So Tony, if you could, talk about your key takeaway and preferred communication channel.
Well, for my website, I guess I summed it up as maybe they should start afresh. It's a hard hit to take, but they might find that in the long run, it's a lot easier for them. It saves them money, and they'll actually make money. The other two websites I thought were functional and very pretty, so they didn't seem to be doing too much wrong, and it's finer tuning on that. So if anybody's interested in me, if they've got questions, I'm a regular on the Google Webmaster Central Help Forum. I'm actually a top contributor there, and it's a great place to ask anything to do with webmaster stuff, SEO, and every once in a while you'll even get a Googler response. So that's kind of the place to find me. Otherwise, it's my company website, advantage.com.au.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Tony. And before I say thank to you, I would like to ask a question asked by our visitor, Himanshu Agarwal, who is asking how we can check whether SEO is really working or not, like keywords ranking, backlink check, etc. Also, any basic tips for brand reputation check. So could you share your thoughts on this, please?
I'd actually kind of go a step further. I don't look about SEO working. I look at the ultimate goal. So if it's e-commerce, it's making money. So I track making money, and then I look at the whole flow from the beginning to the end, and look where something's working when it gets more money in, and you track it all the way back down. For other websites, it's different. Like if it's a blog, you probably want things like interaction as your way of measuring success. Different. For me, I only have a few clients. Success for me is kind of just traffic. I like getting traffic on my website. So pop on down.
Cool. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much. And now I would like to move to Pradeep. Pradeep, if you could share your takeaway and your preferred communication channel where our visitors can ping you for their questions.
Sure. Thanks, Nitin. Yeah, guys, in my view, I think two very important areas for anyone who's looking at leveraging organic search. One is the content. And I think we have talked enough about this in this session and earlier sessions as well, because whatever Google make changes, end of the day, your site is serving someone's objective. And of course, the content type, content quality, the content formats, UI, etc. will change. But end of the day, the basic principle would continue to remain the same. Are you writing content for search engines or for users? And it has become even more important. And I personally look at our website, what the work we do. I see a significant shift in terms of putting more effort in improving the quality of content. At times it looks, so much effort for what, but in the long run, that's the key differentiator one site would have over others. Second is, I think, in terms of overall experience, especially mobile. I'm sure for majority of the categories today, the percentage of traffic coming on mobile is exploding, I would say, not just increasing. And Google has given enough, public indications that mobile first, and everything is going to be giving priority to mobile, including AMP, like we tried recently, and we are seeing some, positive correlation. So overall experience, especially considering mobile, I think that's my other key takeaway based on my experience, and I would want all audience here to go back with at least these 2 key takeaways. That's I would want to share, Nitin.
And your preferred communication channel?
Yeah, so as I shared here, you can reach me on Twitter. My handle is Pradeep Chopra. Would love to interact with you. Any other question you have, I would be happy to answer that there.
Cool, thank you so much, Pradeep. And one of our visitors, Lucky Sharma, is asking, in the last, I have a question. Can you please share some tips to motivate all the SEO engineers here? So
Okay.
I think,
For career?
would you like to take that?
Got it. Great. So given we are into digital marketing education and a significant percentage of our participants come to us for career growth. So one, I would say that SEO will continue to be important. I had seen that if we go back 5 years back in India, for almost three to 5 years, SEO had lesser importance. But the moment online businesses, e-commerce started coming in, it gained its importance back. But if I look at our businesses, our ventures, I think all these 17 years, one thing which has contributed most consistently is SEO. So no matter whatever anyone else says, the importance of SEO is only going to grow. The way you do everything else may change, while principles would remain same. The SEO would continue to be important. Having said that, anyone wants to grow well in career, wants to rise to senior positions like digital marketing head. Even if you want to focus on SEO, your knowledge about other areas, including social media, including inbound marketing, including analytics. So those are very, very important. Imagine if you do great job of creating huge amount of traffic through SEO, but if you are not able to use analytics well to be able to measure how can you take that to the next level, or not being able to use inbound marketing to convert the traffic to leads and leads to final business, your great wisdom about SEO would have limited value. So you should know everything in digital, even if you specialize in certain areas. That's my another very, very important suggestion for anyone who wants to grow well in career in digital marketing.
Cool. Thank you so much for that, Pradeep. Very, very. I love that answer. And I think I would also like to add here my personal experience. So I personally like facing challenges, and SEO, challenges you every now and then. So every day, Google shares something that, hey, we are now doing this, which is probably sometimes exact opposite of what they were doing. And so this is actually a challenging situation all the time. So you are always updated. You are always trying different things. And apart from this, I think SEO is not something that you have, okay, these 5 steps, you just follow this and then your SEO, your site is SEO friendly. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. SEO is more about user experience now. So you are not optimizing your site for Googlebot or any other search engine for that matter, but you're optimizing your site for better user experience. If your user is happy, end of the day, your search engine bots are happy as well. So make sure you're not just focusing on search engines, and you're more focused on your user. If you are able to deliver a happy experience, then definitely you'll see yourself ranking somewhere in the top in search engines as well. Yeah, so that would be my key takeaway though. All right, so now moving to the final guest of the show, that's Sam Maley. So Sam, if you could share your key takeaway and your preferred communication channel.
Sure. I mean, there's so much to take away. You've got all the sites we audited today, even the ones that are doing quite well. There's still, loads of things that could be done to improve them. I think a big point is that, your SEO work never stops, and you can't get away with just focusing on one aspect of it. You can make a website technically sound, but then if it's got, no links, no authority, it's not going to rank too well in most cases. Vice versa, if you've got loads of great links going to a site which is technically poor, it's not going to rank well either. So you just need to make sure you've got everything right to do this game well. And especially the comments about mobile being more important in the future, I think that will just be more and more the case. It's very important to make sure your mobile experience is really good. In terms of my communication channel, you can get me on LinkedIn or on Twitter. It's @Sam Maley, SEM. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Sam, Tony, and Pradeep, everyone, for this amazing episode and sharing a lot of interesting things with our visitors. And once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and for submitting a lot of sites, asking a lot of amazing questions, interesting questions. Unfortunately, we couldn't answer all of them. And there were a few questions which were very generic about link building strategies and blog optimization in general. And yeah, so we'll be probably having separate episodes for them because they are big topics in themselves. So yeah, stay tuned. And thank you so much once again for showing such a great response. And yeah, have a nice day. Namaste, India. Have fun.
Bye bye.